Hey, free-to-play gang. Okay, so I have to address this right now since it's going a little bit viral on the Reddit page. So I wanted to avoid talking about this because I don't think it's legal for me to even discuss this on YouTube. But because it's here, I'm just reacting to something that's already out there, right? So this is the Rookie Cumulative Echo Reward. I've actually seen this before. I've seen the rest of all the rewards along the way, and I think there are a couple of free legendary aspers along the way. So there is one at the 100th pool, there is another at 350, and apart from that, I think there is only one legendary Abilimon somewhere in between. But generally speaking, the rewards are They're kind of The main reward is going to be the one at 700 summons, which is obtain a random unowned Shimmer type legendary Esper. And the reason why this is crazy is because this is actually obtainable. This is very much obtainable for whales. 700 summons for one unowned 5-star Shimmer Esper is crazy good value. It is extremely good value. So for instance, you would need on average about, I think, 1,500 summons just to get a Shimmer type legendary. I think that was the math. I can't really recall right now. But for you to only spend 700 just to get something that you do not already have, that's crazy good value. And this is also the reason why a lot of people are upset, because this is extremely accessible to whales, right? We are just going to go through the comments in just a moment. This is extremely accessible to whales, which means that as long as you can throw in about $2,000 or less, slightly less than $2,000, you would be able to obtain a free Shimmer type. And one of the big issues with this is, like I talked about in the video earlier on today, there is a time limit of I think about 10 days or so, something about 10 days. So for most players, this is not going to be possible to farm. It's not possible at all for most players, including some of the whales, to even obtain 700 summons within the period of 10 days. And I think that is one of the main issues for me. Now with that said, people have the right to be angry about this. I'm also quite upset that they have decided to go with this path, because they seem to be moving in the right direction. They seem to be doing things that makes people happy, right? They seem to be checking a lot of the boxes right now. But then they decided to make something as insane as this by including such a powerful reward with some extravagant number like 700 summons. I have never seen anything like this in any game whatsoever. But I do have to say that this is a little bit bloated up because this game does provide a lot of summons as opposed to other games, and that's why 700 seems like, oh wow, it's like a lot, but actually it's not as much as most people would think. Now, I want to say that I do not approve of this at all. I feel like this is very scummy, and I know there is going to be a big hoo-ha about this when this goes live, and it is on Reddit right now. So let's go through the comments, and then I'll talk a little bit more about what I think they should do in order to retain their players and in order to make the players happy. There is one thing that they can do that will make everyone happy in this game. So let's go through the comments. At Lilith HQ, why did nobody get the top reward this event? You're wrong. There will be people who will be paying for this shit. Next, I see that for 300 pulls you only get 5 GR, so I'm assuming that the bottom rewards are less than that, and therefore I'm pulling and not giving this event my attention. This is a very mild reaction to whatever that we are seeing over here. The rewards are okay. Like I said, the earlier rewards, they are fine. It's just that you get one free legendary at 100 summons, which I think that's like the biggest bang for buck for most of you guys. The ironic part is that if they bumped the requirements and made the pulls retroactive, they'd probably make more money from people trying to reach those goals. They may not. I don't think that they're gonna make more money. So the thing is, because of how accessible 700 summons is, it is extremely easy for them to get a lot of money because people are just willing to spend a little bit more money just to guarantee a Shimmer type legendary. Because I personally do not even have a single legendary Shimmer type, let alone getting it for nearly free in most whale cases, right? Getting 700 summons is nothing to a whale. Effing ridiculous. I used to whale for these guys, but I haven't spent a single cent for 2 patches. I just log in, send friend shit, and close it. Grid will absolutely ruin this game. Grid will ruin anything. It will also ruin anyone in the world. Damn, the 300 one though, you did 300 summons? Nice, here's 5 pulls. It's funny cause the current event gives 10 records for 100 rolls. Man, this game is a crazy ripoff. 300 spins for 5 records, blah blah blah. Okay, so Lilith really needs to understand their audience, and their audience are people who can just, at a snap of a finger, change to a different game. It's so easy for you to download a new game and just spend time playing said game as opposed to feeling negative about the game they are currently at. So the thing is, the least that they could do and the least that they should do is to make it such that everything is at least constant or a little bit better. Now the thing is, I'm not saying that this 700 summons is bad because it is technically free rewards. You are still going to summon anyway, so the fact that they attach rewards to it is a good thing. But I guess the main issue is that most people will not be able to effectively save up 700 summons, so it doesn't really make sense in terms of like most players' cases. And the fact that you have a time limit attached to it, that only proves that they are more concerned with earning money from this event as opposed to giving us freebies, so to speak. And I think that's the part where most people are unhappy about, because they like to judge themselves based on what other people are doing. And now that whales are able to obtain something with an unfair advantage, then that is clearly a big issue to everyone in the game. It's also a big issue to me because now I feel FOMO a little bit and that I should spend in order to get that 700 summons, but I'm definitely not going to do so. So for all of you guys, I feel like what you should do is to just vote with your wallet, and I think that would settle a lot of stuff in the future. So if you find that some practices are not good and not right for the economy, don't do it. Now here's one thing that they can definitely do that will mitigate all the unhappiness over here, because every single comment over here is completely unhappy. Everyone is unhappy about this for a good reason, okay, for a good reason. Now what they can do, in my opinion, to actually just resolve this issue entirely is to remove the timer on this Echo reward. Just make it an unlimited timer, or maybe make it across a span of 6 months. So every 6 months you have something like this that lasts for an entire 6 months, and I think that would be perfect because it is very possible for you to save 700 summons within a period of 6 months, and at the same time that also attracts players to consistently log in every single day just to, you know, grind out a little bit, get some gold records here and there so that you can effectively obtain something along the line. Now I think what the game really needs right now is consistent players. So the game is still dropping as we speak right now. I think in terms of Galaxy players alone, we have dropped somewhere about 20 to 30% in the past month, as with all gacha games basically. But the thing is, in order for you to retain players and just have a stable, consistent player base all through the rest of the game's shelf life, what they need to do now is to have events that attract players to log in every single day. So this is actually a good step, right? This is a great step, and it's just in my opinion that I think this can be completely resolved if you just lengthen it to, like, let's say a 6 month period of obtaining all of these rewards. But let me know down in the comments below what you feel about my suggestion, and or maybe they should perform some kind of retroactive calculation, like maybe like the number of summons they did in the past 2 months, for example. Leave your comments down below because I'm very curious to know what you guys think about this and what is your main issue with respect to this, because this is just my assumption on why people are unhappy. So that's it for today's video. No outro.